Guys, I'm joining in about 2-3 minutes. Just
Okay. How long does this, do you think this is going to take? I have something at 10, so I wasn't sure if this would be done by then or not.
uh, 10 a.m.
Yeah, because they didn't specify how long this was going to take, so I assumed it was going to be like 20, 30 minutes, because
It's going to be about 60 to 75 minutes.
how long?
60 to 75 minutes.
Oh, shit. No, I can't. I'm so sorry. I don't have 60 to 75 minutes. That's an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. Nobody told me it was going to be that long.
Oh, uh,
Yeah, just because I'm the only one running the company, so I have like meetings all day.
okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just, should I do another, should I reschedule for another time or just tap it? I can't. I'm so sorry. I can't sit here for an hour and a half.
Okay, so how about 60 minutes?
No, even then, like I said, like I have a call at 10. So it's like this is my week of production. So it's like a huge week for me. So this whole week is like a wash. Like I have 1,400 drawstrings that I still need to cut and dye myself. Like that's the life I'm living right now.
Sabrina, if you would have told me, I would have helped you, love. You could have called me. I would have come to Brooklyn.
Please come over.
But you sound like that's the struggles of a small business, right? You got to do it all. I feel you. I'm
I
right
gotta
there.
do it all. That's why I'm like, ooh, an hour and a half. Like I don't have time. Like I am on the fucking wire. So that's me this week because we're already behind. Thanks, COVID. So yeah, I got really screwed.
Let's make the most of it then, guys.
Okay.
You guys first. Thank you so much, Sabrina, and thank you very much, Marc, for coming over this morning. Really appreciate your time. We'll have to make this quick because Sabrina has to go in about half an hour, and then I will be talking to Steve, who will be joining us soon, and Marc for remaining half an hour as well. Sabrina, she is a founder of a company called Softwear. She believes in sustainable and affordable fashion wear made in America 100%. She's a fitness enthusiast. Her business is growing at 10x every goddamn month. Congratulations on that. When people are shutting their shops down, she is growing 10x every month. Excellent. She is a woman who is in her early career days. She started her brand from her home, and she has a motto saying that this too shall pass, and she believes in taking one step at a time, and that's the way to progress in life. She has been covered by various magazines, Men's Health, Esquire, Men's Journal, and a lot of other magazines. Sabrina, thank you very much for coming over this morning. I'm sure we can learn a lot from you. Marc, good morning to you. Marc has a fantastic history. His family was working for Levi's in Tennessee, and when Levi's shut the shop down, the factory down in Tennessee, he took up the onus of making denims himself. He now runs a fantastic denim company called Marc Nelson Denim, and he has a lot of products on his website which you can sport for casual wear mostly. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much. Let me ask the first question to a lady on the panel. Sabrina, why are you doing what you are doing?
It all really started like from my mom. My mom is really what inspired me to start all this. She got sick, and when I was with her in the hospitals, like we just couldn't find anything for her to be comfortable in. We couldn't find anything for her to wear, and that's when I started identifying the holes in the market. And so to me, starting a brand meant doing something different, not the same, because at that point, then what do we need it for in the market? And so I started it to change the game, to do something that was high quality, affordable, made locally, and something that nobody had ever felt before.
Wonderful, excellent. Sabrina, tell us about the last 6 months for your business. How are they?
The last 6 months have been insane. I had a business partner that I bought out, and unfortunately at the time he had left us with a slew of inventory that we didn't need, couldn't move. I didn't know what to do with it. So when this whole COVID pandemic started, and everything was all up in arms, we actually did have a store in the Lower East Side that we had opened, and we were really excited about our growth and all these new wholesale accounts. And then all of them canceled. Everything happened within that week that we had to shut it all down. And I removed my entire inventory of, almost $250,000 worth of inventory into my basement, and was like, okay, I'll be the fulfillment center. And sales were increasing very slowly, a couple here and there, because we make joggers, hoodies, we make basics, but we're tactile. So it was always a struggle being a small business without kind of any kind of marketing budget, any investor, anybody to help. How do we get the name out there? And so the reason we grew so quickly was I started tie-dyeing everything. And I said, like, cool, I can do this in my kitchen. I can make them to order. I can build this relationship with our clients. And it just word of mouth spread. It spread. And that's how I sold out within a month of like all of this inventory. We have a wait list now. We've had people constantly emailing every single day. I mean, I could have probably continued growing the business had I not sold out of everything that I had. And now we're just waiting for our new inventory to come. That's already almost 70% purchased, pre-ordered. So it's just the only way I did. Yeah, it was acclimating. And it was also listening to what the consumer wanted, because I could have easily just made 5 different colorways and said, well, this is what you get and you order this. But instead I figured, let me do something customized. I mean, what am I doing? I'm sitting home all day anyways. Let me build the relationship with the customer. Let me see what they want. And that's also what helped me plan fall and figure out what direction to go in for our future based off of 6 months of consumer behavior that they're giving me their full rate. This is not a buyer. This isn't a store. This isn't a wholesaler. This is the person who's paying full price for the product, and they cast their vote on what the future that they want to see.
Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sabrina, for the initial setup. Marc, a lot of factories shut down. Why did you take it so seriously that it's your responsibility now? Since Levi's is shut, you should have your own company and give employment to people. Why was it so important to you?
It was important to me because in my community in East Knoxville, again, there was a Levi's factory here, and that factory shut down. And if you lived in East Knoxville, somehow you were affected by that, or you had a brother, sister, mom, dad, auntie, uncle that worked at that factory and basically paid your way to go to school, make your life better. That factory provided health benefits. My brother bought his first car by working at the Levi's factory. And so when that factory shut down, it didn't just shut down the Levi's plant and take that away. It took away the opportunity for people to buy homes and have health care, to go on vacation, to make a better life for their kids and their kids to come. And so now you see, basically, it looks like somebody took a straw and just sucked the life out of this community, really. Like the houses are turned into crack houses. Guys that worked at the factories then resorted to other ways to make money that weren't necessarily legal. And so it's made such a huge impact on our community. Not only that, growing up and having Levi's play such a huge part of my life, I was proud of the Levi's factory. My brother, my uncle, my cousin, we represented the Levi's factory. And so we all wore Levi's. And so we were very proud that, wow, this is a product that's made right here in our backyard that's sold all over the world. And so when that was shut down, that kind of took away that. And so I wanted to build something that, again, that could potentially grow and make my community members and myself, proud of something that comes out of my hometown.
Excellent. Wonderful. That's a great why, Marc. That's a great story. Thank you very much for coming over this morning. Marc, what's your sales distribution online versus offline?
So it's interesting that I listened to Sabrina's story and I was like, wow, that sounds like very similar to me. Before, and I have such a wide, huge story. So and if you don't know this, I actually ran a gambling operation, went to prison, and came back home and had to reestablish my business. But in hindsight, with the exception of going to prison, it was a great lesson because I used to throw money at trade shows and wholesaling and traveling. And like she said earlier, I'd spend so much money on shit I didn't need. And so when I got home from prison, what I did have was a shit ton of inventory that nobody was necessarily buying. And so I gave myself 2 months to go through this inventory. And I said, if I got to make 45 grand in 2 months, I'm going to shut the doors. And what it allowed me to do is realize what people are buying and what people are not buying. And now instead of doing wholesale, I'm going directly to the consumer. So this allows me to create a personal relationship with all my guys. And they appreciate that. They're blown away. Like, you own the company and you're calling me and asking me what I want. Like, this is Marc. I'm like, yes, this is Marc. And so, so right now, my business model has been is I need 300 clients that I get to spend $1,500 a year rather. And that will grow next year. And then that will continue to grow. And I can personally service those. I don't have to spend money on employees that don't want to be here and aren't passionate about my business. And so if they're here, they're adding something or some value to my business that I potentially can't do because I don't have the time or I don't know how to do. And so I can gauge that. And then to your point is my business right now is I have one brick and mortar store, and I'm set up for this. I've been fighting for 5 years since I went to prison. So I live and work in my studio. This is my studio, and I live upstairs. So I come downstairs and I go to work and I open my shop door and I go at it. And so I literally call on 100 guys that are my personal clients. And the goal is, again, to get them to spend $1,500 to $3,000 a year. And I'm currently building my e-commerce. And that's where I could use help with, because it's so competitive out there. And, you know, it's blue jeans, you know what I mean? And so it's tough. So we've got to figure out that equation of our business, and that then I'll be hitting a home run.
What platform you're on, Marc?
I'm sorry?
What platform are you using for e-commerce?
Shopify.
Shopify. We can help you in that. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
So you're primarily focusing on offline, and now you want to jump to Shopify. Excellent.
Yep.
So what online platform do you use?
Shopify as well. We were on WooCommerce and I hated it, so we moved it over.
Excellent. Why did you hate WooCommerce?
It was antiquated. It was like everything, you needed a developer to do everything. And so I was like, oh, I want to change the banner. Oh, it's $100. I'm like, well, fuck, we're a small business. Like Marc said, it's like, we're literally doing everything. Like I handwrite a card to every single client that buys something, and I reference and I look at their old orders. I'm like, cool, I love this hoodie. I hope it matches your green pants that you bought. Like, we're building these relationships. This is the only reason we're still here, is because of the love and the care that goes into it. So if I can't look at my analytics, if I can't look at things, if I can't understand the business, and I can't even fucking change a banner, then what is the point of all this?
Excellent. Wonderful. By the way, we're recording this session, so you can mind your French.
Sorry. I do curse a lot, so I'll have to try not to, but sorry to anybody that's
right
sensitive.
on. I curse a lot too, Sabrina. That's cool. It's
all the time.
It helps. It helps. I was like, are we recording this? Okay. So there you go. All right.
Yeah,
good to fucking know. I was like, oh, sorry, brother. It won't happen again, I promise you. Right?
We'll cut that portion. We'll cut it. We'll put a beep there, okay?
Just beep it out. Yeah, just put a beep in it. Perfect. Beep me out.
All right. So let's do this. So you spoke about analytics, Sabrina. What analytics are you referring to? How do you do it? What do you check? What do you look for?
Mostly looking for like the traffic, obviously, where are people going onto the website, how long they're staying on each page, areas of improvement that I can have. Like we had somebody looking at our conversion rate optimization, and we fixed this, that, and the other. I don't know if making a picture a little bit smaller and moving it up a little bit on the website changed everything. I think ultimately, if you're coming to the website, you're looking for something. You're either seeing it or you don't. Like we only have 8 SKUs total. I have 3 for men and 5 for women. And then it's 6 different colors / the tie-dye, and we're coming out with new, but it's pretty self-explanatory. So to me, I just really wanted to see where are people going and like how long the tree is staying. And so between Shopify and Google Analytics, I kind of paint a little bit of a picture as to what's happening with the website.
Excellent. That's great. So you are giving a lot of attention to your customers. You're handwriting each postcard for them. That is something. Building relationship is something that's very important for folks, especially today during these times. We can use all that learning. We're gonna posting about it later on different channels. You spoke about using Google Analytics and Shopify. What's your customer base, Sabrina? How many people shop from you online?
It ranges. Like right now we're averaging like 500 people a day onto the website. So our traffic is not huge, but it can go, some days I'll have 20 orders and we're doing really well and I'm exceeding my daily budget. And then there are other days where I'll literally sell 1 tank. And it's like, oh, okay. So far we've had 1 $0 day in this entire year. I'm like, okay, fine. Like, I'll take that. There are ebbs and flows. Some day there, I sold out of a style overnight on one day and made $24,000. And then the other day I made $38. So we definitely ebb and flow, but I just also think that's being a small business. Like, I don't know. I also don't believe anybody else that says they're doing better.
Can I chime in? Because I want to learn and us to be able to, we should also exchange contact, Sabrina, because that's very helpful. What I find in a small business is this too. When I'm focusing, like it's a juggling act. And when you're focusing on sales, you're selling. But when you have to go to production, do you got what I'm saying? Then you're focusing on production
100%.
and you drop the sales ball, and sales requires momentum. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
like if you haven't sold anything in 2 weeks or you've been on vacation, when you come back, it's kind of like you got to build up the courage to get back in the game and to call people and to be like, you got to make that first step. And I believe the same for e-commerce, which I'm an idiot at. That's the deal. Is Shopify makes it easy, but like she says, the conversion rate and this and that, and I'm like, what is all that? And so I've been to both extremes. I've been where when I had illegal gambling money, I was paying a marketing company 10 grand a month. And they absolutely, and I got to watch my English or my words. They absolutely sold nothing, effing nothing. Like I paid them that for 3 months and they hadn't sold me one pair of blue jeans. And then I get some local person that I'm paying nothing, basically, you know, a $500, and they're posting and they're engaged in the social media, and now I'm getting some action. And where I've got the most reward is a free article that Garden Guns wrote about. I did a whiskey stained denim project, and they wrote about it and put it in there. And like you said, in a matter of a couple days, it was like crazy. But then there are days where crickets, I'm like, what in the world is, how do you keep that, you know, just the even flow is what I'm looking for. And I believe it's through content. You've got to constantly have someone talking about it. But the world is, for a small business, how do we afford brand ambassadors? You know what I mean? How do we afford articles in GQ and Esquire, and it's just it's really tough. And so again, it's just it's crazy. But the internet allows you to have a huge, the world is, you know, your fishing pool. And so if you can keep consistency out there, but again, as a small business, it's so hard to get your photos on time because your production is behind. Like you said, you're behind. And so now you're doing a panel and you're giving, you know, your time where and it's a constant, it's like, it's crazy. And then you got to take the photos on your own, and then you pay somebody to do some shit, excuse my French, and they do a shitty job. And then you go, I could have just did it myself. And you blew $2,000. And now you got to I got to make that $2,000 back up. And then it's crazy. It's crazy. So I feel you. So how do we afford the tech guy that does the Google Analytics and tells us you need to tweak this and this market it? How do you do that? I don't know. So I'm sorry. That was on me.
Me personally, like I am the first person to say, like, anytime somebody says something, I'm like, we don't have money. I don't even try to pretend. Like, we had a marketing or a PR agency. It was $5,000 a month. I'm like, cool, have a great day, because there's no ROI in that. All of our press, it's been really lovely. It's been organic. It's more of me. I live in New York City. So of course I'm meeting these people. I'm meeting the editors. My friends are influencers. We all, one hand washes the other. And so that's for sure how it is. But up until quarantine, prior to the tie-dye, wholesale is my background. So it was easier for me to get it into stores, but getting that direct to consumer was impossible on a solid black tank top. Like, what's so special? Oh, you have to feel it. It feels amazing. The fit, nobody cares. You know that. You make blue jeans. It's the same of you're trying to explain, what's so different. They don't care. So I've definitely, like, social media, I'm super, super, super selective on the influencers. Like, I don't just gift anymore. And it's the same. It's like marketing. We don't have that 20K for Instagram ads. Like, we just don't have it. And I try to also explain to clients or customers. I get a lot of 2D customers that don't understand why I don't have something. Like, why don't you make more colors? And I don't understand, why don't you have this on your website? And I'm like, I'm one human. with no money to do all of this. Like, you need to understand we're a small business, and mom and pop literally means mama. That's it. But I just, my thing is like, don't spend any money. That's it. Until you have it to where if I can lose 10,000 this month, fine. I don't know who can, but like in a budget, if I lose 10,000, that's rent for 3 months on my house. You weigh your options. Unless I see that ROI and I'm guaranteeing that I'm making 20,000, 30,000 back on that 10, you're not getting my money.
Excellent. Way to go, way to go. So a lot of learnings from you, Sabrina. I think that's the superb way to think about money. And let's not call your businesses a small business, guys. Let's call them growing business. Let's call them
growing business.
Okay, growing businesses.
I like that.
Yep. What about the KPIs? Sabrina, you are one person who looks into data. What key performance indicators do you look at to check whether your business is actually, what's your business health score? What's the business health? To determine the health of the business, what key performance indicators do you check, do you analyze?
So I'm a little tech stupid. Can you elaborate a little bit more on specificities of KPI?
Sure.
Talk about, like, I take pasta and I throw it at the wall.
That. It's not the tech, it's the health. Where do you consider, what would you grade your, I'm sorry, I'm not the panelist.
No, please.
Where do you grade your business? Like, if you had to say, if my business was sick or moderately healthy or strong, what would you say your business is? Is that what you're asking me?
And how do you check that?
I would say we're healthy based off of the one, I have no inventory. So like, obviously I'm doing something right. Like, I don't have anything really left to sell. So the business is doing well. And honestly, what I really look at is like the perception that people have of our brand. People all the time think we're some big corporate company and we're much bigger. So I take pride in thinking, okay, well then I'm doing something right. If American Airlines just reached out asking if we wanted to partner on something, it's like, whoa, you think we're that big that I could even handle something like this? Like, I'll find a way if we can figure this out and afford it. But that to me speaks a lot of volume on the health of our business. Like, we're getting media, we're getting people to our website. Every single day I'm getting new customers and repeat customers. It's a really nice balance of like a 50-50 on new and old. And so to me, I find that like health to me is progress. If I have a day where I make a sale, that's one sale closer to them where I was.
Excellent.
I might not have answered it, but that's, yeah.
I'll give one example. For example, what Marc was telling, for example, one of the key performance indicators of health is my average order value increasing month by month?
Right.
What's my growth rate on revenue month by month? How many orders I'm getting every week? Is that increasing, decreasing? Those are some of the KPIs we check in the e-commerce industry to see whether my business is in the right direction or not. So Marc, what key performance indicators do you check for your business to check whether you're healthy or not?
For me, it's my checking account. I mean, that's
is there money in the bank?
It's like, oh shit. I'm like, oh man, things aren't looking good. It's interesting as a growing business. I would consider myself healthy at some parts of the year, and then other parts of the year, I have the coronavirus. I mean, I'm like, it's scary because, like Sabrina says, and I keep saying this again, is I'm looking for the dream of being successful. And because I've actually been in business, 10 years now, I've seen a lot. And what was working before, like trade shows, when I first got in, and I thought was like, I'm attending a trade show, so I'm doing well. Now I'm going, man, these guys are crazy. Why would they spend? I was spending 15 grand to go to a trade show. It just didn't make any sense. And like you said, your return of investment was, I may match that order. I may get $15,000 worth of orders, which doesn't make any sense. Or I may get 5. And then I have to call and hit the road. And so now I'm looking at, and this is interesting from a healthy standpoint, is I know that I'm going to be in business in 6 months. Do you know what I mean? Because I have money in the bank to do that. And I still do have inventory. And even if I have to liquidate it, I know that I'm going to be able to get some cash out of that. Now, it's for me, and Sabrina, I don't know if this is the case. I used to feel like if I had $100,000 to you know, of capital to invest in marketing and all that. But now not so much, because what I found is when I had a lot of money, I was making bad decisions with that money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, I do have 10 grand to pay this marketing company, and it would make my life a whole lot easier. But most marketing companies don't do anything they say they're going to do. Once you give them that first check and they tell you they need 3 months, and in 3 months, you're like, man, that was a waste of money and time and energy. So now, yeah, I do have a pool of clients that I can call and make and get a sale every day. It's up to me to make that phone call, to then fulfill the order and make sure that it's done correctly. And so that's where I feel like I'm somewhat healthy. I could be better. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 5.5. And as I add people to my team, I'll get better. But the real deal is now is making smart decisions, and it's on me. And then when I do get inventory, it's so easy to have a bad day, because if we cut something wrong, and a lot of it, that's my profit. And now I'm like, what do I do with this? And I've got a lot of that cut so wrong stuff here that we have semi-annual sample sales to help get rid of that. But yeah, it's so you just got to, you know, go at your own pace, take your time. So yeah, I'm somewhat healthy, but I'm going to the gym for sure. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that.
I had that. I had a PR woman, and she was gung ho. Oh, we're going to do this. I'm promising the moon, the stars, and the sun. And we negotiated down the rate. And I knew I was already going to be second fiddle. And I'm like, okay, this is a lot of money if I'm going to put towards this. And this is less than what they want. And within a day, I saw exactly what the next 3 months would have looked like. She stopped answering the emails. Her assistant got the contract wrong 4 times. Nobody gave a crap about what we spoke about. Then when I didn't sign the contract, of course, the owner comes back and she's like, steps back in to seal the deal. Oh, sorry, I was away. Oh, so sorry I didn't answer your email. And now they won't leave me alone because I didn't sign the contract. And I already knew, I'm like, and if I had signed on that dotted line and given you my money every month, I would have gotten an email at the end of the month going, hey, so we sent it out to these editors. Nobody wanted it, but we'll try again next month. Thanks. And you're just taking money and being like, let me just throw it away. No, now I just say, cool. I just tell everyone, we still don't have it. That money is saved for production. That money is saved for runway. That money is saved for rent. That's the priority right now of the business in order to survive. Otherwise, there's just no way we're going to see another day by giving everybody 10, 20,000 without an investor that's going to put that money back in our pocket.
Yep.
Wonderful. Excellent. Thank you so
and
much.
I see, yeah, I mean, we have a question. Do we answer that on here?
Yes.
Somebody asked a question about our fabric. I don't know. I'm new to Zoom, so this is this cool Q&A thing. I didn't even know about this.
Okay. I wanted to know the main reason you chose to be in fabric blends. So it's for you, Sabrina. The question is that there's a girl called Shrey. She's from Free Culture. It is great to see your collection, specifically the tie-dye collection. However, I wanted to know the main reason you chose your fabric blends majorly as zero.
Yeah. So predominantly, the reason I chose our fabric was originally we actually had a hemp, and hemp is significantly more sustainable as far as a crop is concerned, but hemp is made in China. So Modal, the specific yarn that we use, the company that we use, is made in America. So they do have a plant here in the States, and it's a completely self-sustaining. So Modal, you can make it in China, and it's incredibly toxic, and it's like an 8-step process, and it's really high on the scale of like not being sustainable. But if you make it at the specific one that we use, it's a self-sustaining plant. So the soil, I messed this up all the time. The soil that they use is re-irrigated, and they can just keep planting the trees without harming the earth. Then when the process is a 1-step process to convert it from beechwood, which is the tree, until the cellulose is 1 step, and that's the energy that runs the factory. So they are literally self-sustaining and like wouldn't need anything to sustain their production. And then we dye, we'll even finish the fabric in America here in LA, and we use non-toxic dyes. So to me, yes, you can do, you could do a recycled plastic or recycled this. That is really not great for the environment. You wash that, microparticles get released into the water. There's really not a lot of amazing sustainable fabrics out there. I mean, even organic cotton, like it still has its problems, but we're figuring out, for me to come up with something super soft, super luxe, I had to also accept that, like, I don't want to use polyester. I didn't want to use so many different variables. And it really came down to Modal just being the best of all of our options and the highest on the sustainability aspect in what I was trying to achieve, and keep a good hand feel, quality, feel really amazing, and be made locally.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, wonderful. Sabrina, before we let you go, one last question for you.
Yeah.
Did you deliberately not go to an investor, or are you looking for an investor?
Yeah, no, it was deliberate at first. I started it with a loan that didn't even cover our first production run. So I've always been taking from Peter to pay Paul, literally. That's their names. And I've always had to do that until now. We're actually on the point where we're seeing profit. We're seeing things growing. We're seeing that happening where my production is less than the money that we have. Great. Okay, cool. This is what a business is, right? I did not want an investor because the three that I spoke to off the bat, first question was like, so cool, we'll move this to China. And I'm like, conversation's over. I haven't found an investor that believes in the ethics that I believe in, that believes in what I want to believe in. They just look at the bottom line and say, oh, this costs too much to make. It's not worth it. So that's fine. I'm always open to a conversation to somebody if they bring also weight to the table. Because I am doing everything, I know the holes that need to be filled. If you're not going to come in as an investor and fill those holes, you're just going to now take equity and be another noise in my ear that I might not agree with. So I'd rather be able to make all the decisions, have all the power within me, grow the company to be $1 million a year. Then when I sell off 20%, it's worth a lot more than me selling it off right now.
Excellent, wonderful. You speak like a bullet train. But I'm sure a lot of things that you said today were very, very meaningful, very, very valuable. Thank you so much, Sabrina. I will let you go.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. We'll get back to you.
Of course. Mark, we'll talk soon.
All right, baby.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. Mark, thank you very much for staying back. You have a great story, Mark. A lot of people can draw inspiration from you. A lot of people who have rough youth, rough childhood, doing a prison time is something that can push you to wall, and you might never be able to come back to your normal life. But you did something marvelous, Mac. Congratulations on that, and congratulations for being a very, very inspirational story for our viewers today. Mark, tell me that you do segmentation. So you are focusing on, you want 300 customers with an average spend of $1,500 to $3,000 a year. In the last 10, so now what is your customer base right now?
So most of my customers, again, are customers that are basically personal. Demographic would mean anywhere from 30 to 65. They're professions that make doctors, lawyers, people that basically want a concierge service, like a private shopper. And so that's what my clientele consists of. What I've done is my goal is to do basically a trunk show or a whiskey tasting. I travel and do that sometimes before COVID. But primarily in Knoxville, I would give you a fit form, and this fit form asks you questions, basically what you do for a profession, what's your favorite color. And so we create a file for each one of our clients. So after they come to us once, we know their inseam, we know their shirt size and whether or not they wear a large, and we need to take the waist in 2 inches. We know their favorite color, we know their birthday. So basically we feed off of that, and we send them photos for each season, or if they have a birthday coming up or their wife's anniversary or what have you. And so when they call me or send me an email, all I have to do is look at their file, and then I'll put some looks together. It's already altered when they get it. And so that's kind of what my profession is. I'm basically a personal shopper, stylist, incorporated.
Excellent. That's a great. So you have clearly identified your niche, Mark. You're not looking after masses and running after huge numbers. You're looking after some specific niche, very, very niche category of doctors, lawyers, and people in good profession. And so that you can cater to their needs, tailor-made and very, very personally. That's a great thing to do, Mark. Mark, are you a good fan of ad spend? Do you give money to Zuckerberg's of the world?
So this is an avenue that I'm I'm learning about. I am not a huge fan of ad spend unless I can see the return of investment. And so with the analytics and what we were discussing earlier, that's what I'm learning about, and would like to partner with someone or bring someone in, again, because I'm a growing business. That's a whole nother job. I do understand that there is a huge difference between brick and mortar and e-commerce, because I would like to duplicate or emulate the same business. Whereas when a client walks through my door today, the first thing I'll do is ask them, hey, can we get you something to drink? I'll show them around the shop. We'll fill out that fit form. I would like to do the same with the e-commerce. And so to answer to your question is, with the ad spend, what is that campaign? Can we, I don't believe that I currently have enough money to compete with these mass companies. There's a Jay Hilburn that did something similar. There's a Tom James that does something similar. And so a Suit Supply who's all over the place, you know what I mean? So right now, I don't believe that I have the capital to make an impact, and I could be wrong, but I would love to learn more about it.
Excellent, wonderful. So how do you, so you're of course helping your customers very, very passionately, and you're catering to their needs very specifically, personally. So tell me about your challenges in logistics and supply chain.
So again, my family worked at the Levi's plant. I've had some retail experience. And so as far as logistics and supply chain, I've also worked as a wholesaler and a cut and sew facility in Los Angeles. And so that's the basic of my knowledge about logistics and supply chain is I know how to start the process from the fabric and picking out, obviously, how many units and colors, and going to the wash facilities and making a product from fabric to the end, and then supplying it and getting it out to my wholesalers, or now it's my clients from e-commerce or that I'm wholesaling out of the shop.
Excellent, wonderful. So you have now started focusing on e-commerce, and before that you were not focusing on e-commerce.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Am I right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Before we were wholesaling, so we were in, several stores throughout the United States, and now our e-commerce was just, something that we felt like we had to have to be a brand, a real brand. And so now we've got it. I mean, the COVID's come around, so people aren't going to shops. We had a plan to open up more brick and mortar stores throughout the United States before COVID started. We wanted to open one in Dallas, Fort Worth. We wanted to open one in the Los Angeles area, potentially do a pop-up in New York. And now people, you can't do that. Again, my business was based off of, I got people in the shop where we were doing trunk shows, whiskey tastings, and we got information from them so that we could call on them. Now we have to get people to actually go to the website and buy. And I do understand that, the world is your store with e-commerce, and numbers are far greater than me expecting my store to bring in a client. I'm here in Knoxville, Tennessee, which isn't, the Mecca, shopping Mecca or fashion Mecca of the world. So, and I can't now afford to just go to Los Angeles and open a store, or in Soho where, there would be foot traffic. And even at that rate, has the world changed so much now with this COVID deal? When will it get back to normal? And so this is a prime time to take full advantage of e-commerce, but it's got to be done right. And then what does that cost?
Absolutely. Wonderful. So yes, you have to do e-commerce, but it has to be done right. That's a very important message, Marc. Thank you very much. Marc, my next question to you is, do you know the customer lifetime value? Do you know how much a customer going to spend with you in the next 1 year? How much each customer will spend with you in the next 1 year?
So that's interesting. And that's one of the reasons that I like Shopify. Shopify will allow you to, it keeps your customer information. And if a customer hadn't been back or hadn't purchased from you in 3 months or 4 months, it'll tell you, hey, you stand a chance of losing this customer, or, you know, this customer would be a great customer to reach back out to. And so primarily, yes, with my 100 clients, again, my goal with them is to each season to get them to spend $1,500 a year. So at halfway point, if they hadn't spent, you know, $750, I call on them. I give them a special or a discount, or say, hey, I'll give you 20% off, or we've got these new t-shirts in, or we're doing a new wash, or I'll write notes down in Shopify. And I also integrate Shopify with HubSpot, so that if I've got employees, that we can follow up and track what they've spent throughout the year. So I do, and then I rate my customers. I've got a platinum, a gold, a silver, and a bronze customer, and those are based off of how much money they've spent in the past and potential spending for the year.
Excellent. That's great, Mark. Linking Shopify to HubSpot, and also categorizing these customers based upon their recency, how much time, how many days back they came, and also based upon monetary, how much money they've been spending on your store, is a fabulous way to do customer segmentation. How many SKUs do you have on your site, Mark?
Currently, we have about 40.
40. Okay.
Yep.
How do you do your segmentation of products? How do you do product segmentation?
So,
like, for example, when I say product segmentation, I basically mean, do you know which are your VIP products? Which products you should just retire from your store? Which products are your products which make you most money, most margin?
right. And so, yeah, so we have, and that's what we have, our staples. And so our staples are, we primarily started off with a denim company. And so we've got the Marc, which is a slim fit. We've got the Nelson, which is a slim straight fit, that are there constantly. And so the most margin that we get now that we're direct to consumer are those items there. Then we've got t-shirts that we do here in the United States also, that are LA based, that are year round also. And then we add in a few things to, like apothecary, that we don't do. Or for instance, like Red Wing boots, or another brand that the margin isn't that great, but it's got a name from another brand that's got, you know, worldwide brand recognition, that may potentially draw a customer to our site that wouldn't come to our site because they never heard of Marc Nelson Denim.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, wonderful. Makes sense. That's a good thing to do. So Mark, tell me something about your e-commerce business. What do you plan to do? So you said you must do e-commerce, but you must do it right. How can you make your e-commerce business right?
Because it's not something that I am fluent in, I'm going to have to get help, and currently I am interviewing or getting information from 4 marketing companies. Now, can I afford them? That's the deal. And then creating a budget for that. What I can do is, from the creative side, make sure that all the photos that we shoot for our products are done right. And the descriptions of each product is, you know, we give as much information on that. One of the other things is, when we're redoing our e-commerce at this moment, how do I create the experience of my store and the personal touch through the e-commerce? And what we're doing is giving, like I said, creating a fit chart that will allow the client to then go, you know, the Marc in a 32 is, you know, the waist is this, the hips are this, the thigh, the leg opening is that, give as much information that, and then allowing the customer to return items that because a $200 pair of blue jeans is a huge purchase. And so buying that and not knowing the brand and never have tried that pair of jeans on is a huge commitment. So giving them the ability to return the item for free returns.
Excellent, wonderful. So Mark, thank you so much. Thank you very much for coming over and sharing experiences. We're gonna be making video snippets, small video snippets of these sessions and sending to you and sending on different channels. We'll tag you, which will also help you in your marketing. I would also like to request you for your time. We do a lot of SEO, digital marketing, and we also have a product which can definitely help you. We are on Shopify. We do Magento, BigCommerce, WooCommerce. We are plugin for all these platforms. We would love to show you the capability of our product. The product can do personalization. Uh, the product can do email marketing. The product can help you in if you, let's say, you want to do ad spend. It can very well do your digital marketing ad spend in a manner that your ROI is at least 20x. Otherwise, we will not let you do any ad spend. We will not recommend that you do any ad spend. So we'd love to show you our product. Something in this week works for you?
Yes. Did you say your return ROI was 30x?
Yes.
So if we put $1,000 in it, the return should be 30 grand.
30 grand, yes.
Over the month.
Over the month, yes.
With that, it would be hard for me not to hear what you have to say. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So let me just. So what time works for you this week? Can we do on Thursday?
I mean, I'm looking at right now. Thursday. What time do you want to go Thursday?
Thursday, 10 a.m. EST.
I'm sorry?
10 a.m. EST.
Yes.
10 a.m. EST?
Yep.
Excellent. And I will block your calendar, and I would like to show you what we got and how we let you, if you're spending $1,000, how do you get 30x?
Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
Excellent. Wonderful. Mark, pleasure speaking with you. We're going to be sending out a video of the entire webinar, and we will then send you snippets as well. And I will talk to you on Thursday then.
Sounds good, buddy.
Okay, Mark. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.